Okay, hello. Right, I am. So I'm getting like more and more people joining the Patreon, and then actually trying out the latest alpha build on the Patreon. And the thing about the alpha builds is the stability of those builds like goes up and down because I will um, because we're still in like heavy research and development sort of phase at the moment. So I'll do a load of work on some new thing that I'm trying to get working and introduce a load of bugs in the process. And then I'll release an alpha build and it will be like really buggy. And then people will complain about all the bugs, and then I'll do like a bunch of builds where I like try and fix all the bugs and try to get the stability back up again, so that there's like a relatively stable build that people can play around with, which is sort of, I mean, that's just the situation that we're in, because of the way that I'm doing funding with Patreon and releasing these alpha builds for people to play with. So that's like not usually the way that you write software, because usually when a piece of software is in development, it's like full of bugs. It's just like normal, and then you fix all the bugs. Eventually, like before you get to the end of development, you fix all the bugs and then you release it to the customer. But that's not what we're doing at the moment. That is so I just the stability of these builds goes up and down. So at the moment, I'm at the point again where I'm trying to get a relatively stable build for people to play around with, which is, again, with like normal software development, that's not the way you would do things, because a lot of times when I'm trying to like increase general stability of the software and fix all these little bugs that pop up, sometimes that involves like fixing bugs in code that I know is going to change anyway. But that is like less of an issue these days, actually, because of the code base is just more mature, and there's like larger parts of the code base now which are sort of stable and less likely to change. But yeah, so a lot of the time, like, I'm wasting time fixing bugs which in a normal software project, if it was a normal software project, that would be wasted time, like fixing bugs in code that you know is going to change. But this is like, because of the way I'm doing funding and releasing the alpha builds, it's not wasted time, because it's good to have these like stable builds that people can actually play around with. So anyway, yeah, the current build on Patreon I know is like a little bit of a mess. There's a lot of bugs in there and it crashes quite a bit. But yeah, hopefully this build that I'm working on now, and then whatever other bugs pop up after that one, hopefully we'll get back to. There have been like quite a few builds that have been released on Patreon like over the years, which have been like super stable, where I've managed to like fix all of the bugs and make it not crash at all. But I never like remember what exact version numbers are the very stable ones. It doesn't usually last very long, because then I'll just start working on some other feature and introduce a bunch of bugs again. Anyway, one of the things I've noticed actually in this build that I'm working on now is I have one of those wonderful those wonderful bugs where if I like make a release build and deploy it. Okay, I had a recording issue. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, this is like a deployed version of the current build that I'm working on, but I have this wonderful bug where it's not doing it now. But I have a crash that keeps occurring, but it only happens in the release build and not in the debug build, which is always a nice kind of bug to be working on. Is it here? Oh yeah, here we go. So one of the things I noticed is I'm using this store align thing, which assumes that, so I'm basically, it's basically copying data from one place to another, or from one buffer to another, and we're assuming that both of those buffers are aligned. And it doesn't really matter what that means, but I noticed that the buffer that is being written to is actually not aligned. Oh, I can't find it now, but it was basically in here, but now I've changed the code and then I started recording. Yeah, so I'm just going to change that and assume that it might fix the issue, because it looked like, I don't know, it was, what did it say? Invalid pointer right. I mean, we have a function that's assuming that the data is aligned, and I know that it's not necessarily aligned. Because I'm not like explicitly telling it to be aligned, so the compiler might align it or might not. Now, what is going on here? Too few arguments. Yes. Okay, so do that. And let's change this to be. Oh, let's just undo what I did before. No, I can't. This is what I want. There we go. And now what else? So the bit was, yeah, here it is. This is the line that was crashing. I don't know if that's going to fix that bug or not. It might do. I'll just have to see if it crashes again once I get a release build. But it doesn't crash consistently either. Let me just look over this code and see if it's doing what I expect it to do. Well, let's see. There was some issue that I had where you can hover over blocks, hit press C, and then Control V. That works fine. Undo, redo, undo. Oops. C, Control Alt V. That works as well. There's some bug there. I don't know how to reproduce it though. C, Control V. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes, I don't know. Delete. C, Control V. Undo. Redo, undo. There's a bug there somewhere, but I can't reproduce it. Alright. Eventually I'll find it. What was the other one? Oh yeah, if I load a project, if I try and interact with the block before I zoom in or pan around the workspace at all, so before I do this, so now it's fine. But if I load a project and then I don't zoom or pan at all and I try to drag a block, it breaks. So what is that? That will be in here most likely. So this should be called at some point on view changed. Oh, not necessarily. Okay, that's not going to do the job. Where is the bit where... somewhere... drag. Alright, I think if I'm just going to activate in start, at this point I should just get the current view for the current workspace. So get matrix like that. And then it will just always do it every time you start an operation. I don't have to think about when that other function is called. That didn't feel right. It sort of popped. Ah, it's still broken. Okay, there's something else. After I drag it once, it's fine. There is something else going on after you load a project. Interesting. That doesn't immediately make any sense. So the first time, try and memorize these numbers, 0.0, 398A, whatever, 7777. Okay. And then the second time we do it, it's the same. So it's not related to the view. Clean up some of this stuff while I'm here. Don't need these. Yeah, let's have a look at... What? Oh, it's because I changed the code. There's another one there. I keep seeing more. Alright, the first time we have one 1066 and 1066. Do it back here. Do it again. Still 1066. Hmm. 221705. Two two one seven oh five. Okay, the problem is not here. The problem is somewhere else. Eight three nine seven 80. Two two one oh 752. Okay. So there's a problem in here. Make group position fixed size. There's going to be something in here. Eight three nine seven 80. That's wrong. How is that calculated? Hello? Oh, come on. Mouse song offset. Interesting. Oh. What? Where did this view come from? Oh, that doesn't make sense. What the heck? Where did that come from? View. Oh, haha. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Why am I doing this? Activate. Okay, this doesn't make sense. Right. Okay, I get it. I see what I've done here. I'm gonna sneeze. Just gonna mute my microphone. Alright, that was a good sneeze. That shook the earth. Alright, delete all this. Assert. Oops. What's happening? Oh. Okay, good. Alright, let's try to make some bugs happen. Copy, paste. Undo, redo, undo. Oh. Okay. What did I copy this one? Paste the... Okay, there's definitely an issue there. Just removes it. Interesting. Okay, let's see what's going on. I can't remember where the code is that does that. Oh, it would be in here, wouldn't it? Oh, I was already here, it looks like. Paste duplicate onto block, is that what this is? No, the other one. Paste duplicate onto breath. Yes. So I just had to sneeze again. Okay, okay, so what's happening here? Okay, so this works by deleting the block instance so you're hovering over it and then replacing it with something else. So we erase the target and then create a new one with 2217053. So this should happen. It makes it disappear. Oh, it's not. Ah. I know exactly what's going on. Target lane. Oh, the target lane is not being used at all. Yeah. Okay. I see what so I changed the way that I had to fix this really obscure bug with send and receive blocks. And part of the fix for that is I had to change the way that block creation worked, so that you don't explicitly specify the lane that you want to create the block on in these actions. Instead, you have to write the lane to this like intermediate immutable data structure, and then the lane that the target should go on when it's created is read from that data structure instead. And obviously during the refactoring that I had to do for that bug, I've missed something here because I have this variable target lane and it's not being used at all. And the reason is it's supposed to go into here and be set here. And probably I have exactly the same. In fact, I have to go lane get ID target lane. So probably I have the same bug in these other ones. Target lane, yeah. And that's both of them, okay. So the reason it was working sometimes and not other times was the times when it was working, I was like copying a block instance onto another one where they were both on the same lane, so it didn't actually matter that the lane wasn't being set. But then it didn't work when I copied like from here to here. But now it should. So copy, paste, undo, redo. So maybe that fixes the exception that happened I saw before, I'm not sure. Copy, paste, undo, redo, undo. Copy. You can hold out Alt to do this one instead. I can't remember what the difference is. So copy, paste, paste clone onto block instance. Oh, it is, yeah, I remember, yeah. Okay, so that's sorted. Hold on, let me commit some of these changes that I did. Okay, that was all of the stuff that I had in my head. Let me just check check my contact on my phone. Because there's some other stuff reported. Oh yeah. Renaming a block and saving a project will have sample deleted on reload. Renaming a block and saving the project. Oh, first of all, that didn't even do anything. Wait, what? Oh, is it because I just clicked outside rather than clicking OK? What is the expected behavior there? I guess that's fine. So rename the block. Save the project. Open test. Oh, wow. That is... that is unexpected. Oops. Wow. Oh, the sample isn't there. The sample is there. Also, there's 2 blocks? Oh, this one hasn't been collected. Okay. This is from the old project. Okay, something odd is happening. Right. Okay. Let's see. Where do I want to go? Into block load. Is there a block load? Okay. What? Hold on now. Hold on. Okay, that doesn't even go in there. That's odd. Scheme. Which one of these? Open project, blah, 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 blah. Read layout. Create workspaces. Action, world actions, workspace. This must happen. Okay. Loading the workspace. Create track if it doesn't exist. Create track. Load the track. Blah, 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 blah. Create the lane. Add the lane. Load the lane. There's the thing. Create the thing. Add. Load. 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 Ah, we're here. Okay. But it needs to load the block as well. Where does the block get loaded? This is all fine. Oh, I missed this bit. Okay. Go again. Block create if doesn't exist. Ah, but it does exist. That's the bug, right? It thinks it already exists, but it doesn't. Because there's a problem with, like, we can see that there's a problem with blocks not getting deleted when you, like, when I close this project, create a new one, both of these should disappear. But that's not happening. That is strange. Collect. New project. Instance count 0. Oh! That's stupid. Okay. Oh yeah. I didn't think about that at all. Oh, this is an old bug then. This has been around for a while. So the idea is, I'll try to explain how the block management works. When you create a block, it appears in the block manager here. When you delete the block, it disappears. If you give the block a custom name, like that, then when you delete, because this is an instance of this block, it's not, you can have more than one instance of this block. For example, if I create a clone, like if I create a copy of this block, then it puts another one in the manager. In fact, it's put. Yeah, that's a big bug. Yeah, I understand the bug. Yeah, it's all clicky now. Anyway, so these are not being deleted because they have custom names. But hold on, let me start again. Just to be clear what I'm talking about here. I can create a clone of this block. So this is two instances of the same block, you see. But there's only one instance in the manager. These are all buggy. These shouldn't be here at all. So ignore these ones. This is the bug that we're about to fix. But then as soon as you delete the last instance of that block, it's automatically deleted. But there's a special rule where if you give it a custom name, it's like, oh, this is an important block. So when you delete the last instance of the block from the workspace, it should persist in the block manager. It shouldn't be deleted. And so there's a problem where when you just close the project entirely and create a new project, it's seeing that some of these blocks that are being deleted because the entire project is being closed, they have custom names, and so I'm just going to keep them. And now they're in a completely, these shouldn't be here. And then what happens is, when you load a project, we're seeing that a block already exists. It shouldn't exist, but we're seeing a block with that ID already exists. And so we're just not creating the block, but we are creating the block instance. And so what you end up with is the block instance, but the underlying block wasn't loaded. And so because the block wasn't loaded, It's basically just referring to the old block that already exists but shouldn't. But when the project was closed down, the sample for the block was deleted. And so this is an accurate message here. Okay. So what should actually happen in collect? This expression here needs to be more complicated, I think. Or actually what should happen is we shouldn't be relying on this collect function to figure out which blocks need to be actually deleted. What we should do instead is just explicitly delete the blocks when the project is closed. Yes. Okay, I think that will work fine. Okay, and now I'm going to close my eyes and think. Just, is there anything wrong with that solution? Let me just think. One sec. I'm going to go very quiet now. Because there's so many moving parts. So I have to have this routine where when I come up with a solution to a problem like that, I have to just think, is that going to break anything else? Is that... I don't know. Let's just do it. Okay, so if I go to scheme, so we have basically a sequence of events that happens when a project is closed. Clear project, and then the sub events that happen when a project is cleared. So I should just add another thing in here, which is like clear layout, blah, 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 blah. So after clear layout, I should say clear blocks. Clear blocks. I don't remember how any of this stuff works, so I'm just going to copy. So I'm defining these tasks that are to be done in sequence. I think this returns, this is like a higher order function or something, right? Clear, I mean this one. Yeah, this is returning a function, okay. Right, let's just copy this, let's clear blocks. And I'm going to need to add a string task clear blocks. This is basically just for like error reporting. If something goes wrong during one of these individual stages, because the project loading and teardown and all this stuff is so complicated, I try to add a bit of information at each stage to try and just get information if something goes wrong. Anyway, return. Yeah, that's it, I think. So I already have this. Clear blocks. What does this do? Clear blocks. Okay, so where else am I doing that? Am I not doing that at all? I think this is just left over from a past era. Right, yeah. So I have this function clear blocks, but I wasn't using this for anything. It was written and used for something at some point, probably exactly this problem. This is probably why this function exists, but there was some rewrite or refactor at some point, and I just messed it up. So I think that was a few builds ago actually that I rewrote the basically everything in this file. I had to simplify it and clear that stuff up. So that should solve that problem. So open. So if you give it a name. You shouldn't even have to save to have the issue, but save it to here. Okay, now the block gets cleared correctly. Okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna do another, I'm just gonna stop the video there, I think. People always complain when the videos are really long anyway, but I don't think anyone should be watching these videos all the way through. But I just need to do another like release build and then see if it's still crashing where it was crashing before, or if my aligned storage thing fixed the issue. But that was definitely wrong with those buffers not being aligned anyway.